Well, hi everybody, and welcome to my garage. Well, today we're going to have some fun. My wife was in the garden the other day, and she was planting some flowers, and all of a sudden she struck some metal. No, it's not a meteorite. Turns out to be an old horseshoe that don't know how it got there, but we're going to throw it in the electrolysis tank and see what we can do with it. But first, let me introduce you. So here it is. As you can see, it's pretty gnarly. It's got a lot of rust on it. And I'd like to make little art projects out of these things. I have several hanging up in the backyard that we made a little kind of a country western kind of thing. Just a hanging. But you see pieces are falling off. This would be pretty easy to clean, but I've never electrolyzed anything quite this rusty before. So I'm kind of interested in how it's going to come out. So let's give it a go here. I'm going to use the same process I use for the meteorites that I do. I'm sure most of you have seen my videos. There's a few of them. But this thing has obviously been in the ground for years. And how it lasted all these years, because we're always digging up flower beds and repotting things and planting vegetables and all kinds of stuff. So I actually found this is kind of amazing. So let's give it a go. So first things first, let's make sure we have conductivity through the iron, because that's necessary for the electrolysis process. Now this is a multimeter, the old Fluke 87 I've had for years, and I've got it set on ohms, and when you have a short, which indicates conductivity, it'll emit a tone. So let's see what happens. So there's nothing going on here, anywhere. I'm touching it, let's try the other side. So nothing. Okay, so we got to file down a small area that we can get conductivity, because what I have to do is I have to take this iron wire, wrap it around some portion of the metal that is conductive so that we can get current flow through the electrolytic solution. So let's do that first. All right, so I got myself a little metal file. Let's just take a little bit of material. We found some base metal here. All I need is one area, just something to give me some kind of continuity through this metal here. I do see some shiny spots. That should give me something. Okay, let's put the meter back on it. See what happens. I'm going to do more than that, obviously. Still nothing. Wow. Huh. All right, let's keep going. Maybe I need a coarser file. This is a pretty fine file. But this showing me some kind of metal should be giving me conductivity. I got a coarser file. This is a round rat tail file. Let's see if that does me any better. Well, if that isn't give me conductivity, I don't know what will. All right. Let's try it again. Nothing. Just wonder if this is actually metal. It's got to be metal. It's got rust on it. Huh. Well, my meter's working. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to file. Okay, so unfortunately I had to take it to the grinder, but I did get a little metal right there, and it is conductive. There you go. So that's right where I'm going to hook up my iron wire. So let's get that done real quick here. Okay, so I've got wire wrapped around there. It's rather tight to make sure to make good contact with this area right here. So let's measure the continuity. All right, so let's get the wire. This is all part of the circuit. There we go. Okay, you can see we're on the shiny metal part, so I'm not touching the wire. So that completes the negative part of the circuit. This is going to go on the anode, or the cathode rather, I'm sorry. Got my terminology mixed up. So let's go ahead now. The next thing I have to do is hook it to this piece of rebar, which goes in the tank just like that. And then there'll be water and electrolyte down there, and we'll get that current flowing. We'll do that in just a moment here. So this is the overall setup. I've got a DC power supply right here. I'm going to run it at 12 volts, maybe 2 amps. I have the rebar with a wire wrapped around it going to the horseshoe. That's going to be the negative, the cathode, connected to the power supply right here with this black wire to the negative voltage. The positive is connected to these 2 graphite plates. That's going to go to the positive terminal of the power supply. And now we're going to put the water in the solution, create the electrolyte, and we'll see on the display here the current go from 0 to somewhere around 2 amps. Not exact, there's no science to this, it's just subjective. So let's go ahead and do that. I've filled the tank to just above the horseshoe level, and now I'm going to throw in, you see there's no current being drawn to 0.04 amps. I'm going to put in this pH up, which contains potassium carbonate, right there. An ounce or 2 is plenty. So we should see this number climb almost immediately. So let's get my mark here, graduated level here on the bottle side. All right, let's see what happens here. There it goes. Okay, so we got 1/4 amp, and as it gets more diluted, it'll go up, so let's put a little bit more in there. This raises the pH of the water itself. That's why it's used in the spa, so things don't get too acidic. And you can see there are bubbles starting to form on the graphite plates and also on the horseshoe. I'll get close-ups to that in just a moment. And a little bit more. Usually this doesn't take very much, but because of all that rust, it's creating an insulator which we have to overcome. So we got about 1.4 amps. I think that's where I'll leave it. Okay, so we are going. As you can see, those are gas bubbles coming off of the horseshoe, and also off of the graphite plates over there and there. I do 2-sided so we get the maximum exposure to each side of the horseshoe. Now this is going to take a while. This is really rusted. I'm guessing a week or so. And we'll just keep checking on it day by day. And you see their current is now up to 1.6 amps. Almost where I want it, but that's okay. Like I said, it's subjective. I can increase the voltage to 2 amps, but that's all right. It's doing just fine. So leave it there for now, and we'll check back maybe in 2-3 days. Okay, it's been about 24 hours now. Let's take a look and see what we got. Turn the power supply off. Take a look at this guy. You can already see a lot of debris in the bottom of the tank. Oh yeah, look at this. Most of the rust is gone. Let's take this off. Don't need that anymore. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. First time it's been in the ground for 40, 50 years. Not bad. There's only a little rust under where the wire is. I can probably take all that off with a wire wheel, I think. I think go ahead and do that. Okay, I think this is done. So, mission accomplished. All right, here's a close-up of what's left in the tank there. So I've got a lot of big chunks of corrosion, a lot of oxides in there. I see a lot of dust, probably the finer stuff. But this came out pretty nice, considering how long it was in the ground. So I think with that, we'll call it success. All right, so to remove some more of the excess corrosion, I'm going to take a little wire wheel to the horseshoe and see how that does. Might get a little loud, but here we go. We'll pick this up. Okay, I think we're done with the wire wheel. Here's how it came out. Looks pretty good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it into the ultrasonic cleaner. Clean off any minor debris in there, and I think we'll call it a day. Not bad. for a piece of rusty junk the other day. I can probably do something with this eventually. As the final process, I'm going to throw this into the ultrasonic cleaner. Unfortunately, only half of it fits, so I'm going to have to do this twice. So let's see how we can do this. I got 1 cup of, this is a really small thing. I got 1 cup of vinegar and 1 cup of distilled water. There we go. Let's plug this guy in, run for, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. See what it takes. Okay, it's plugged in. Let's add some time to it. One of these adds time. Oh, that's the off button. This is brand new. I'm still learning how to use it. There we go. 280. There's about 6 minutes. Okay. We'll come back in a little while and see how that looks. We'll flip it over and do the other side. All right, so the ultrasonic cleaning is done. I've done both sides. There's some pretty grungy water in there. And, oh, the piece is really warm. Okay, that makes sense. Let's dry it off a little bit. See what she looks like. More pieces of metal coming off, so yeah, got most everything. Still a little bit of rust down inside the nail holes, but that's okay. We'll leave that there. It's patina. It's not rust, it's patina. And it's looking pretty good, considering what it was yesterday. So I think that's going to be about it. All right, we'll figure out what we're going to do next. After removing this from the ultrasonic cleaner, there really isn't much left to do. I coated it with some automotive clear coat to preserve it so it won't rust. And here's the final product. Enjoy.